If you find yourself beating yourself up any time that you try to make a positive change in your life, this is the video for you. Hi, my name's Dave Cottrell and I am a self-sabotager in recovery. I put myself down for years and years and years. Every single time I tried something and I didn't get it right straight away, I would go in on myself hard, and you know what? It never got me anywhere. So today I want to share with you the 2 steps that changed everything for me. I call them baby steps and happy dances, and we are starting right now. There's a very good reason I call them baby steps, because what I want you to imagine is I want you to imagine a baby learning to walk. If you're a parent yourself, you'll have seen this, but if you're not, you can imagine it quite easily. We all know that the baby's not going to walk on the very first go. They might take 1 step, they might take 2 steps, but they're probably not going to make it all the way across the floor. Despite the fact that we know this, no one in their right mind would run up to that child, tackle them to the floor and scream, "Don't bother doing that until you can get across the whole floor" to them, and expect them to get back up and be positive. Now, this might seem like an absolutely ludicrous example, but that is actually the way we treat ourselves when we first take those baby steps in changing a habit. There are 2 major ways to change a habit. One is by just cold turkey stopping the habit, and the other, which I find a lot more effective, is to understand what the unmet need behind the habit is and find an alternative to meet that. You can find more information about that in this video. So to go with these 2 categories of habit change, there are 2 types of baby step we can do. Step number 1 is walking away from our old behavior. Step number 2 is walking towards a new behavior, choosing a more healthy behavior over a more harmful one. Look, I know no adult wants to be called a child, but in both of these situations, you are kind of like a child taking steps for the first time. And if we treat our steps with the same importance as we would a baby's baby steps, we will go a whole lot further. Because what we tend to do in this moment is we take the baby step and then we put ourselves down. That is like tackling that child to the floor. It is not going to guilt you into greatness. When we put ourselves down, it could just be something as simple as going, "So what? I didn't smoke today. Big whoop, it's only 1 day." Or, "Oh, so what? Instead of scrolling, I chose meditation for just 1 time, but I bet I'll go back to scrolling tomorrow." These messages send a signal to our brain that what we have just done is not worth doing. And if your brain believes that what you have just done is not worth doing, it's not going to want to do it. And that is not how we handle that child who is learning to walk. We also don't just go neutral and be like stony faced, "Yes, very good, do it again." We don't do that at all. What we do is we go big. We celebrate, we big them up, we cheer. We're like, "Oh my gosh, you're amazing. You're going to be a marathon runner tomorrow. You're the coolest kid that's ever walked. You're so fantastic. You're such a miracle." We go big, and then we big that child up. And as a result, they feel excited. They feel more like they want to go and do this again. This is exactly the message that you want to give to yourself when you start engaging in better habits. You want to send a signal to your brain that says, "What I just did is good, and I really can't wait to do it again." Once you nail that, habit change becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It essentially takes care of itself, and the amount of effort and willpower you'll have to put in crumbles significantly. And I don't know about you, but for me, anything that makes habit change easier is worthwhile. This is where we come to step 2, the happy dance. Once you have done the baby step, and ideally immediately after you have done the baby step, you want to celebrate. Now, that celebration can be however feels right to you. But as a general rule, the bigger you're willing to go with it, the better. If you're just starting out and you're starting small, you might want to give yourself a little success give meme. If you want to go a little bit further than that, an 80s reach and grab, I love one of those. But if you want to go even further than that, a full-blown happy dance, get your body involved, get moving, because our physiology and our mental state are a 2-way street. We can sometimes move and cheer and dance because we are happy. But actually, by moving and cheering and dancing, we can become happy. This movement, the bigger you can go with it, sends such a powerful signal to your brain that what you just did is good and therefore worth repeating. And that is powerful. Now, those 2 steps alone will get you most of the way, but I want to add a bonus on here for the days it doesn't quite go to plan. let's say you do the baby step, you do the happy dance, it gets locked in, you keep on doing that behavior for days and days, weeks and weeks, months and months. You are building up a streak and everything is feeling fantastic, and then you have a day where you go back to the old behavior. It happens. Let's go back to our child learning to walk. On day 1, they make 3 steps. On day 2, 5. Day 3, 10. Day 4, they have the audacity to only make 7 steps. Again, no parent in their right mind is running up to that child and saying, "You're such a disappointment, you're so pathetic, you've gone backwards, you had 10 steps yesterday and you're only doing 7 today, I'm so disappointed in you." If you are talking to a child like that, I would suggest you seek help beyond this video. No, we do not talk to children like that, because again, we know that that would shatter their confidence, that would destroy their self-esteem. So why is it okay to talk to yourself like that on the days that you get it wrong? Do you think you're going to learn differently from beating yourself up? I've said it before, I'll say it again. We don't guilt ourselves into greatness. Guilt is tremendously useful if it tells us how to do better next time, and we do better next time. If it doesn't achieve that goal and it just makes you feel garbage, it's just not useful. So in that moment, you don't take the baby step and do the happy dance. You give yourself a bit of compassion. You realize that progress is not a straight line. Some days you take a step forward, other days you take a step back. But if we zoom out over time, it looks like a straight line. Especially if on those moments that you get it wrong, you give yourself some compassion, you start over, you start the new streak, you do the next baby step of getting the behavior right again, and once again, you treat it as if it's still just as big as that first step. Because it is. Be proud of yourself on the days you get it right, be compassionate to yourself on the days you get it wrong, and trust me, your big picture will look the way you want it to.